Oh wow, it is sunny. It is literally the 1st of March and it just immediately got sunny. I'm kind of overwhelmed. I hated February. I mentioned that in my recent book haul. February was not a fun month. I don't think I was the only person to feel like that. So I've been kind of holding out for March, maybe because it's my birthday month, maybe because sort of spring starts and all of that stuff, and I really prefer a bit sunnier weather so we can go out for more walks. And I feel like the sunshine is a good sign. It's making me feel good. It's making me feel positive about the month to come. And I started off the day with a nice catch-up coffee with Leanne and Ashley over Google Meets. That was really nice, and I think good way to start the week, good way to start the month. But the reason we're actually here, as you know from the title, is that it's currently the Finishathon vlog. So the Finishathon, if you haven't seen before, is a readathon created by Tea Books in Tasman, which is all about finishing your half-read books. So the books you haven't finished that you started maybe last week or last month or last year and still haven't got around to finishing. And it's exactly the kind of readathon I need, because I'm terrible for not finishing books. And I don't mean DNFing books. These aren't books that I don't want to finish. These are books I want to finish, but just haven't. So here we are. I'm hoping to get through a few this week, and I am on a wee walk getting some fresh air before I pop to the chemist to pick up my prescription. And I'm listening to Pain and Prejudice, which is a non-fiction audiobook by Gabrielle Jackson, I think it is, all about women's experiences of pain and the treatment of women's pain and the dismissal of women's pain by the medical profession throughout history and in modern day. So I am really, really enjoying it. I only started it maybe a week or two ago, so I was quite fresh into it, but I think it's the kind of audiobook that I won't be able to stop listening to once I get to sort of halfway point. These ones that I feel are full of fascinating information that also kind of enrages me are difficult to put down once you get so far into them, because you just need to consume all the information so that you can articulate it yourself and have discussions about it and argue against all the injustices that it talks about. So I'm really enjoying that and listening to it. And then tonight I'm planning on continuing on with my reading of When No One Is Watching by Alyssa Cole, which is a thriller that has been quite regularly compared to Get Out, the film. So should be good. Looking forward to that, and just hopefully having quite a productive month. Like I said, I was feeling quite sloggy last month, and I'm not expecting to immediately just be back on top game or anything, but I'm just sort of trying to put some positive vibes out there for whatever that's worth, just for me personally. Obviously it doesn't change anything. But yeah, I'm just trying to plod along and plan on vlogging this week, which is why we're here now, having a little walk in the fresh air with the sunshine. So I hope you will stick around and come on this week journey with me and see what I manage to read and what else I get up to, which will be very minimum because, well, you know. So yeah, I'm gonna keep walking and keep listening for the meantime. Right, so it is already the evening. This day has been a tiring one. I have been doing so much research and my brain hurts as well as my eyes from staring at the computer. So I feel like I want like a quick win, you know? I want like a solid quick win, because I've listened to a bit more of what is the other book called? I've listened to a bit more of Pain and Prejudice, but I haven't finished it and I didn't go out for walks. I haven't listened to tons of it, and I read some of this last night. But because this is a graphic novel and I'm halfway through, so here's where I am in terms of the graphic novel, I feel like if I really just dedicate my time to it tonight, even if it's texty, it should be achievable, and then I will have finished a book and I will feel invigorated with my reading. So yeah, it's nighttime and I am off to read. So I'm just about, or hoping to film my reading wrap up for February, but my neighbour is doing really noisy DIY in their garden that you can hear in my bedroom, which I'm not sure if it'll pick up on my phone, but you can definitely hear it on the camera, so I'm kind of waiting and hoping that they stop sawing things. And I thought I'd update you on my books whilst I was sat here, because last night I did it! I finished Bloodlust and Bonnets by Emily McGovern and I really enjoyed it. I have finished my first book of this readathon, which makes me so happy. It makes me feel like I can do anything. So that was really good. This is really fun. If you didn't catch it in my TBR video, it's a graphic novel set in the is it the early 1800s? I think it's the early 1800s as opposed to like 1700s, following a group of vampire hunters, one of which is Lord Byron. There is a little queer romance and it's just very comical, very light-hearted, very kind of satirical of romantic literature of the time, and I really enjoyed it. It was like I said, really good fun. Plus it has such a, oh, that's not the best page because there's not much going on there. It has the most unique, cute, but also quirky and like sassy, I don't know, illustration style. It just suits the storyline, so I really enjoyed this. I think Emily McGovern has a really fun sense of humour. And I did, like I said, listen to more of my audiobook yesterday, Pain and Prejudice. I'm past halfway now. I listened to a bit more this morning and I'm really enjoying it. Although yesterday in particular, I have to say, I got quite upset listening to it, like in a good way, if that makes sense, because I was upset because I felt so affected and impacted by the issues discussed in the book, and I felt like I related to what was happening, and it made me really consider the world I live in and my experiences of pain and the medical profession as a woman. It was really hard hitting. So I have to say, I don't know if I was just feeling like overwhelmed or emotional yesterday in general, but actually, do you know what? It doesn't even matter if I was feeling emotionally generally. I think we all are, but that doesn't mean that how I reacted to the book wasn't valid, because it's very true, everything that's in it. And I think a lot of us will be able to relate to what the book is talking about. And I think it's really important to read, therefore, because it helps us acknowledge and address those issues and hopefully one day fix them. So really enjoying that and getting a lot from it. It is actually making me think differently about the way I might approach some of my own like medical concerns in the future, and that is like a wonderful thing to get from it. A confidence has been instilled in me that I really appreciate. So going to continue listening to that and then read more of when I've forgotten what it's called, but the thriller I'm reading later tonight. When No One Is Watching by Alice Cole, that's what it's called, tonight. But I do have a live show tonight over on Leanne at Literary Diversions channel. It's her birthday tomorrow, and tonight she's hosting like a fun quiz where we all of the like other YouTubers who are guest hosting and participating have come up with a really random theme, and I don't know if it's just because of what I'm reading at the moment, but my theme is sexism. So if you were there and you saw it, I hope you enjoyed it, and I imagine it's still on Leanne's channel for you to watch back, so I'll link it down below if you missed it. I also have some training sessions later today, for most of this afternoon really, from sort of like lunchtime until 6 at university over Zoom, so I'll be going to those and wanted to take advantage of this little bit of free time this morning to, like I said, film my videos. So that's kind of today's plan. Looking forward to everything that's happening, but it's definitely a busy day and I'd like to get started, and I think that maybe my neighbour has stopped doing DIY, so I might be able to, so I'm gonna go. So this is completely off topic. I finished filming my video now, I got a little break in the noise, but I'm just making myself a coffee or a latte because I got, sorry, I'm like choking on my biscuit. I got this latte mix, this Nescafe Azera latte mix in my last supermarket order, and I'm obsessed with it. It's so good. It makes me feel like I'm in a cafe and it makes me so happy. However, it is like a little bit overpriced, shall we say. And I was just curious if there was any other brands that did similar things. So if you drink latte mixes at all, can you let me know what your favourite brand is? Because I'd love to know and give it a try. I honestly always thought these things would be a bit sickly, but it's so nice. I'm very happy, and it's really jazzed up my coffee life for the time being. You know, you got to get your small joys where you can at the moment, so this is one of mine. Et voila! I could be fooled into thinking that I'm in a coffee shop with not quite as wonderful latte as I would get obviously from a barista, but you know, pretty good. Righty-ho, let's take a little break from the reading to see what new books we have, because I just received my Fairy Loot subscription box. They do send me these for free for review, just so you know, but I'm not sponsored, and I always tell you what I think. I do think they're a lot of fun though. They usually feature sort of YA SFF, so that's something I'm really into. What more can I say? I have had a peek inside, I'm not gonna lie, but I do want to share with you what's inside. So, oh, and also this is this is the February box, although it's arrived in March. But basically, if you haven't received this box yet and don't want to be spoiled, please don't continue watching. Or skip forward, keep watching the video, but skip forward. Okay, so what is inside? Right, so like I said, I had a peek, and this is so cool. This is one of my favourite things I think I've ever received in a subscription box, because it's genuinely so useful. It is a set of cutlery, so it's like a set of travel cutlery, the idea being that you can just put this little pouch and box in your bag and take them out with you if you're going on a picnic, or if you're planning eating outside with your lunch, etc., taking them to work, maybe when you're back in the office, or if you're currently going into the office in your workplace. I haven't actually looked at what the cutlery looks like underneath the wrapping paper though. I forgot how hard it is to do things one-handed. Oh, it's gold! Oh my goodness, this is so jazzy. I've never had gold cutlery before. Okay, I shouldn't be this excited about cutlery. Now, is that not your dream spoon? Then have this little box, which I haven't looked inside, but it says what it is on the outside. It is little moon fairy lights, which is super exciting. I've had star fairy lights in the past. I still have those star fairy lights. I feel like they broke, but they were super cute. And oh, I've never seen moon-shaped fairy lights before. Oh, I'm gonna need to go put some batteries in these and hang them up somewhere, because I have yet never ever seen moon fairy lights. I've seen a lot of star ones, but never these. So those are incredible and beautiful, and I'm excited to hang them up. We then have a pillowcase. So this is a pillowcase picture depicting artwork from a specific book. So it says "Through Hardship to the Stars," and then it has a quote on the back, which is from Red Rising by Pierce Brown. So I haven't read this either, and this is the one thing, obviously, if you're not super up on every single popular sort of YA fantasy and science fiction book, you may get merch from sort of fandoms that you don't know anything about, but it is something that I don't mind so much, because the most exciting part is always the book itself. And let's see what this month's book is. There's also something little there, so we'll have a look at that. But what is the book? The book. Oh my goodness, will you not be free? Be free, book. This is so hard one-handed. Okay. Oh, I've not heard of this. The Golden Flame by Emily Victoria. Yeah, I have not heard of this book. So it says, orphaned and forced to serve her country's ruling group of scribes, Caris wants nothing more than to find her brother long ago shipped away, but family bonds don't matter to the scriptorium, whose sole focus is unlocking the magic of an ancient automaton army. In her search for her brother, Caris does the seemingly impossible. She awakens a hidden automaton, intelligent with a conscience of his own. Alex has no idea why he was made, or why his father, their nation's greatest traitor, once tried to destroy the automatons. Interesting. This gives me Cryer's War vibes, because it has a race called the Automi, which sort of feeds a little bit of kind of the sort of science fiction vibes into a fantasy novel. So I wonder if this will be similar, but definitely sounds intriguing, and it is in one of the beautiful like Fairy Loot special editions, which I have to say always have these beautiful embossing. And then look at the artwork. The artist who does the Fairy Loot stuff is incredible. This is just stunning. Like, their books are beautiful if you appreciate a beautiful book. We also, as you can see down here, have a candle! Yay! Okay, I can never have too many candles, so this is definitely okay for me, and I really don't care what book it's about, because I know it's still a candle and it still has function. It smells like cranberry, peach, citrus, vanilla. Those sound amazing.
Oh my god, yes. I'm burning that now. And then also, we have this, which is, let's see, it's a pen. I love pens. This one, oh, it's from Vicious by V.E. Schwab. Okay, so I haven't read this, but I do want to read this. So, presumably if I read it, I'll be very, very pleased that I have a pin of it, and I will understand the context of plenty of humans were monstrous, and plenty of monsters knew how to play at being human. Ooh, I do like it. It's designed by Jez Hawk, so these are all accounts that you can check out on Instagram. Love an enamel pin, I do. And then with every box, you also get some, like, tarot cards to add to your collection. So yeah, that was what was in my fairy loot box. My bed is now a mess, so I'm gonna go. I hope you enjoyed this unboxing. So I am out for my daily adventure outside the house. I wanted to go to the post box and send my Patreon postcards. There's a tier over on Patreon where I send out postcards to individuals, so it's always a nice thing to do. So that's what I was doing, and thought I'd get a little walk in and go a little bit further afield whilst I'm outside. And what would you have it, but I finished Pain and Prejudice, and I don't even know how to summarise all my thoughts on this book. I have felt so upset and infuriated, furious, disheartened, but also like vindicated and validated. But at the same time, there's so much information in there that it's hard to summarise and like completely take on. Like, there's a lot. Not that it's not incredibly accessible. I think it's a phenomenal book and everyone should read it, regardless of gender identity. But it's one that I actually think I might buy in physical copy, so I can look over certain sections again. I think I would really benefit from that. And I'm so pleased I listened to it, even if it was like an emotional upheaval, because like I said, I still, at the end of the day, feel like vindicated and validated by it and inspired to do more about it. And I think it's really, really good to understand these things and know the ins and outs of the way that sexism is a part of things as every day as medicine. So yeah, I would really, really, really recommend it, and I'm gonna go continue with my walk. I feel like my eyes are a little bit puffy. I just sent off like something I've been working on that was like quite important and big to me, hopefully part of a bigger thing, but that meant a lot to me and had a lot of significance, and then like bawled my eyes out, mainly because I just couldn't stop wishing that I could have shown my dad, because it would have been something he would have been interested in and I would have loved his feedback on. So now I think I might have slightly puffy eyes, but own up to the tears, I may be 29 in 2 weeks. Less than 2 weeks. Less than 2 weeks? Yeah, less than, no, two, what? No. Just over 2 weeks. But I'm still crying when I send an email. I think I'm not the only one, but yeah. I thought though, now that I've done that, now my work day's over, I could talk to you about my book. So, oh god, I'm disorientated. I was reading more of this last night and I'm getting really, really into it. It is really good. I'm on page 100, which is about a third of the way through, so I definitely think I could finish this one this week, and that would mean I'd finish 3 books, which to be honest is a lot more than I have been reading. If you're wondering what I'm looking at, I'm trying to pick a headscarf. What do you think? What would match? It's going to be too late by the time you see this. So we're just going to have to accept whatever I go with. So I could finish 3 books, which may not seem like many to some when they're participating in a readathon, because I know they like to read lots and lots and lots, but I haven't finished 3 books in the space of a week in quite some time, so I would be so chuffed with that. And they would all be quite different books, which is quite fun. So yeah, I'm about a third of this way into this one now, and it's definitely freaky, but everything that's so far that's happened in it isn't freaky in a like this seems unreal or even out of the ordinary way. It just seems very, very usual. It seems very disturbingly usual. Now I'm like using you to look at this one. Oh, this is really hard. None of them quite match, so they all kind of match the same. I'm going to use this one. Okay. Or am I going to use this one? Or am I going to use this one? I'm going to use this one. Oh, am I going to use this one? This isn't obviously a headscarf. This is just... I'm going to use this one. This is so fun for you, right? I know. So everything that's happened in it so far has just felt pretty usual. It's been the age-old tale of gentrification, classism and racism, and it's so disturbing and upsetting, mainly because it's all just very, very true. There's a lot of carnage in there, shall we call it, and there's just some like very freaky things happening with big companies trying to force out families and individuals that have been in areas for generations because they're not the right type of person, they're not wealthy enough, they're not white enough, and it is very clearly hinting at some larger conspiracy. But once again, and I think this is the intention, none of it seems particularly unbelievable in any respect, way or form, although it also has the sort of tone of something like Stepford Wives. Like, as a reader, the writing gives me Stepford Wives vibes, which is sending chills up my spine, so it adds to that atmosphere. So it has that very chilling narrative and writing style, and I'm really enjoying it. It's about two main characters, one of whom is a young white man from working class background who has moved into the area recently with his wealthy ex-girlfriend. So they broke up after they bought this house together, and now they're living in a very awkward situation. And then a young black woman whose mother is terminally ill that has moved back to her childhood home because of this illness, and her family has lived there for a long, long time. It is a thriller, mystery, horror novel, so I don't want to give too much away in terms of the plot, but I also think there's hints at a bit of romance, which I guess isn't a massive surprise because Alyssa Cole typically writes romance novels, but I'm also here for it. Like, I love thrillers with a hint of romance, so far this is a good one to me. So yeah, overall, like, pretty good. I'm enjoying this one, looking forward to seeing where it's going to go, and I'm hoping to finish it this week. But I am glad it is the weekend and I'm going to spend some time going for walks and playing board games and eating pizza and chilling out, because I just feel like I need it. I think we all need it and I'm looking forward to cracking on with it. So yeah, that's my update. Oh, it is so cold. I've just got into my bed. It's about 8 p.m. because I can't cope with the non-bed world anymore. It's just too cold out there. So at least I can be all snugly and warm whilst I hopefully finish my book. I say that, I've still got a bit of a chunk to go, but I do obviously have hours left of the evening, so it might be possible. And it is actually quite a quick book to read. I'm not reading at the fastest pace at the moment. I don't think I'm reading especially slowly either, but like, I'm not zooming through anything. And I'm now 2/3 of the way through, so I've got about 100 pages or so to read left in this book. And like I said, it does actually read quite fast when you're reading it. I've just been doing other things as well, so I think I could potentially finish it. If not, I will get very, very close to the end, so I'll be pretty pleased with that I'll basically have almost finished 3 books, because if I don't finish it tonight, I'll definitely be finishing it tomorrow. So that's good going as far as I'm concerned for readathon, and it's done the kind of end goal of getting me to finish some books that I'd started and hadn't gotten around to finishing yet. And overall, I'm really enjoying it. I'm enjoying the two perspectives. The ante is definitely been upped in the past sort of 100 pages, you know, like since sort of page 100 or so. Like in the second third, it sort of moved beyond your everyday kind of horrific things to your conspiratorial, slightly more insidious, freaky things, although I still could believe any and all of it. But yeah, it's upping in ante, and I'm intrigued to see where it's going to go next. I think it's only going to get more creepy as I approach the very end. So yeah, I overall, I'm really enjoying it. I like both the narrative perspectives of both the man and the woman. I think they're interesting. They make for like an interesting combination and a good like overview of the whole storyline, because they sort of have different ideas of what's going on and witness different things. So that's really fun. I like that about multiple perspectives in thrillers, you know.
people know and see different things. So that's interesting. And yeah, I'm enjoying it. So I'm really pleased that this readathon has got me to sit down and finish it, because I put it down for a few months now. And it turns out it's a A+. So yeah, I'm going to carry on with that one. At this point, I feel like it could very much either be a 4 or 5 stars. Like, it's definitely going to be one of those unless something ridiculous happens. So that's really good, and that means I'll have enjoyed everything that I've read this week, and it's been a fun little sort of journey. I think reading vlogs do help me sort of get back into reading when I'm feeling a bit slumpy, and February was a very slumpy month for me, so I'm glad I started off March this way. Aside from that, however, that is pretty much the end of this vlog, because it's the end of the week. I hope you have enjoyed watching it and getting little updates on what I've been reading. Like I said, I've enjoyed most of it, so hopefully you've got some recommendations as well. Let me know how your reading's been going in general, and how your March has started and all of that jazz. I would love to just chat with you and catch up in the comments down below. But until next time, happy reading, and I'll see you again soon. Bye everyone.